All right, you guys, we're back. This fender is the aftermarket fender that I was telling you guys about. But you can get a good deal on these fenders. A lot of them you buy offline are like $200 to $300 for a fender. These ones range anywhere from like $60 to $80 on, you can find them in different places. I've seen them before, different stores, different states and stuff. But this one here sells locally for like 70 bucks or something. I think it is $70 or something. So they come in some epoxy kind of on them. I don't know exactly what it is, but they're not raw steel metal. They got some kind of coating on them. But if you look here, these are the fitment issues that they have. I lined it all up and everything. It lines up here really good, all down through here. I got this loose right now because the core sport's off, but if you'll look, you can see here how they fit. But this right here, if you'll look, it fits right here nice. But if you'll look on this part, if I put my hand right here and you look down there, you can see where the access, I marked it with a Sharpie. See right there where it's got like a point on it? And I matched these lines up. You can see it better there. See how it's got like a angle on it? You got to grind that off. So what I'm going to do is grind from here to here. I'm going to grind that down, and I'm going to barely grind this edge right here so it's nice and straight so that this meets each other. Other than that, see that little part that pushed out right there, because you kind of got to bend them down a little bit. They don't fit exactly right because they're generic fenders. But all you really got to do is you got to grind that out right there on that edge where the Sharpie is. Just kind of grind that down. Grind a little bit on this part here, on the tip part. And then right here, you just kind of grind that down and tap it back in. And then this fender will fit just like the factory ones. If you can see here, straight down here, it fits really nice. I got to blend this door where they opened it from the accident. They kept opening the door, but you can see the gaps are nice in the fender. It's not bad at all. From the side, it's got a nice gap in it. From right here, it's got a nice gap in it right there. Fits nice and neat. I got to pull this back. There's no core support on here right now. As you can see, I got a baseball bat kind of holding the hood up. But it'll fit nice once we get the core support back on and get it bolted. If you go over here, you can see this car didn't even bend the hood hinges in this accident. And I'm surprised because usually every one of these I do, the hood hinges are bent, always. So if you look at the gaps here, they're nice. Here, they're nice. So we'll get it exactly the way it is from the factory. And if you'll look here, we can pull this in or out, move it a little bit forward, but this hood's got to be redone. Obviously I got to fix them. It's going to re-clear the whole hood, maybe blend a couple spots in it so it's painted back again. But you can buy these generic parts for half the price what the dealer wants for them. So this fender's about $60 to $80 different places that you buy it from. So keep that in mind. I just wanted to test fit it to make sure it's okay. And like I said, we just got to do some grinding on it right there, and then we'll be all set. So we're going to go ahead and take this back off and get to the body work on the fender and on the hood, and then we can get the front end back together. So be right back. We got the edge ground down right here where we had the Sharpie mark on it where it was buttoned up against the windshield pillar. We got all that grinded down. I'm going to take my little hammer in a minute, and you see these are like defect fenders. That's why they're so cheap. That's why I made this video about buying cheap parts, not buying $200-300 fenders when you can buy them for $60-80 bucks. So you can buy these fenders cheaper places. There's no dents or anything in it. There is some sand marks right here, some little imperfections, but it's a nice fender all in all. So we'll take a hammer, and as you can see here where it kind of went up to a point at, we're going to take a hammer and kind of peck that back down so where it's nice and smooth through there, because you can't do this once you paint this fender. You can't go back and fix stuff because then you're going to knock the paint off of it and risk damaging it. So you kind of got to fit everything and test fit it, make it look nice, get it all lined up, bend things the way you need them. That way when you go put it back on, it'll look nice. And right here's another spot. Where's that? No, it's down here. See right there? You can see it how that fender is like pointed up right there. Got to hammer that down right there so that's nice and flat. And it's got a sharp edge on it, so we'll hammer that in a little bit, kind of flatten it out on both bottom and top. And then right here, that ain't bad, I'll leave that. So other than that, we got that part grinded down. So other than that, we just got to fix the spot here, hammer that in. That's all ground down where it's nice and flat. And then pretty much it'll be ready for paint. So let's get a hammer real quick, and I'll show you real fast. We got to peck that down, and then we'll straighten that up over there. All right, so we're gonna take our grinder, and I thought maybe using a little body hammer we can straighten it, but I'm gonna have to grind that. That's got to be grinded. That's why these fenders are cheap. You know, they're 60, 80 bucks, and that's why you get them cheap. You got work to do to them. Pay $200-300, you can just paint them, bolt them on, but this is supposed to be a cost, you know, a very costly build, so it pays off to use these sometimes. So right here I'm going to show you the imperfections that you're going to look for, and these are things that you're going to want to do when you start putting this car together so you can save money. So let me go get my grinder and we'll grind this down, and I'm trying to give you a better look so you can kind of see it here, just exactly what you're looking at. See how it's got like a lip on it right there? There's like a lip on it right there. We're going to grind that lip off it so it's nice and flush and smooth. So we'll be right back. Alright guys, now we'll take the 180 paper, 180 dry sandpaper, just a piece of sandpaper, and we'll take that and we'll kind of just, I'm trying to hold the camera here while I do this. Just take the 180 sandpaper and just kind of go like this with it. Just kind of rough the edges up with it. Just like that. Alright you guys, I won't make you dizzy with the camera, but I grinded it down right there. These fenders like this is basically all you have to do. You just kind of got to take that grinder like we did, grind this all down so it's nice and flat, take some 180, straighten it all out, and then the edges look really good. Like, see how much nicer that edge looks now. It's nice and flat, and it's nice and flat and straight and come to a point just like this is. So that's kind of what you want when you use these aftermarket fenders, for you to be able to save money. It's not that much work. I mean, the amount of work you put into it, you know, what did it take us? 10 minutes to grind this down, these little spots there. So this little spot here we ground down, hit this one a little bit, and then you come over to this side and grind this down right here so it's nice and flush with the pillar. So for the price you pay, you know, $40 to $80 you can find these for at local little places, little generic fenders that they sell, versus $200-300. I mean, that's a no-brainer. You know, 10 minutes of your time to save money, to save, you know, $150 or something, you can't beat that. So we'll go ahead now. I'll rough it all in with just the 180 on the edges where I grinded at, not on the fender. I'll wet sand this with 600 so the paint will burn to it good. And I'll use 180 and kind of just rough in these edges that I grinded down, and this thing will be ready for paint. So let's go ahead and get this thing all wet sanded, get those edges grinded down, and we'll be ready to spray this fender, and we'll move on to the next thing with this car. So stay tuned guys, we'll be right back. Hello everybody, welcome back, Sink or Swim Garage. Today's going to be a video where we start tearing down the Encore in the front. Part 1, we painted all the front end, did some other stuff. Part 2, we put all the airbags on the interior. Part 2, we got the interior back together, all the airbags back in. The only thing we're waiting on now, we're going to do the headliner on camera on this video here as well. And today we're going to be putting the front end back together. So this fender's already on, obviously. We saved that one. That was salvageable. All the front end parts are already painted except for the hood. We got to do some body work on the hood right here, but that's going to come in this video as well. We'll have this whole front end back together, and we will have this thing done. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to start working on all this crap. We're going to... I don't know yet. I'm trying to call this salvage yard to see if they got one of these trans coolers. For any of you know who are building these Encores, these trans coolers are quite expensive. This one isn't leaking, but it has seen better days. It is a little tweaked, but it isn't leaking or anything like that. So I don't know if I want to chance it, but we'll see. If I can't find one at my local salvage yard up here, then we'll probably just, I don't know. I don't want to use this, so we're not going to use this thing. I really don't want to use this thing. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start tearing this thing down, get everything out of here, and put all brand new in here. And then we'll put the core sport on, you know, or the airbag sensors up, all the other crap that goes on here, and we will start assembling this front end and get this thing done, get it back on the road. And stick with me, guys. We'll move along to something cool. I know you guys are tired of these Encores. We'll get back on the Chevelle build, or we'll do something else. So be right back. We'll start tearing this thing down. When we get it all tore apart, we'll come back on and start assembling all the new parts. Basically, if you guys want a quick rundown of it, these are your trans lines. So if you want to know about these, the car being apart, these are going to be your trans lines right here. And they hook into these right here. I just put bolts in them so it didn't squirt fluid out on us, you know, just kind of leaking everywhere. We don't want to lose our trans fluid if we can help it. When you go to take these apart, first thing you want to do is disconnect these right here, these trans things, the trans lines. Disconnect the trans lines, first thing you'll do. Unbolt the trans cooler, bolts here, another bolt over there. Take this off, move it aside. Next thing you're going to want to do is take this bolt out right here. Here, pull this back, and then you can pull this little pin right here. Here's another one of your lines. That's another trans line. Pull that out of the radiator and pull this aside. And then we're going to go down here. If you can see this, let me get a better view here where you guys can see it good. This right here is your AC condenser. Take this bolt out and pull these lines to the side, and then you can unbolt the AC condenser. If you can see down there, trying to see where you guys can, trying to get it to where you guys can see all these bolts, you know where they're at if you ever work on these. There's going to be one there and one here. Pull the bolts out of both sides, take the AC condenser off, get rid of that, and get rid of this first thing. And then you can start working on getting the radiator out of here. So let's go ahead and get those bolts out, get this off, and we will be right back, guys. Sit tight. All right, you guys, we're back. We got the new radiator. I went ahead and bolted the radiator bolted the fan onto the new radiator. What you do is, there's little slots right here, if you can see them. Zoom in there a little bit so you can see them. The fan just kind of slides in there like that. On both ends, the fan just slides in. And then you got a bolt here. And you got another bolt here. And basically, this is your temp sensor. The new radiator didn't come with one. So what you got to do is pull this sensor out of this radiator here. And it's located right there. You know what's crazy is this radiator didn't leak a drop. There was nothing wrong with it, but get you guys a better view here. If you look down, if you can see, it's like bowed really bad, almost, if you can see it. It looks like it kind of got pushed inward. If you look, it's kind of hard because of the shadow with me, but I mean the radiator is good. It's not leaking at all. But if you can see there, it's bowed. See if I can shine the camera just right. But I won't waste your time with this. I was just trying to see if you guys could kind of see the way it looks there. It's kind of like bowed, and I didn't want to take a chance on it. If you can see there how it's kind of pushed out. But I mean the radiator wasn't leaking. It's actually a good radiator. It's just I didn't want to take a chance on it, sell it to somebody, and then, you know, it was to overheat or something, and then, you know, there'd be some issues or whatever. So I just went ahead and I just kind of went ahead and put a new one in it. Got the new one there, and that way I don't have to worry. You know what I mean? Everything's going to work. Everything's going to be good. I don't want to sell somebody something and then they come back and, you know, oh man, you knew it was leaking and all that stuff. So I'd rather fix everything right and be done with it. But so that's the progress we made so far. We got the AC. This is your AC lines. Got them out. These are your trans lines. lost a little bit of antifreeze. I tried to save as much as I could out of there, but it got away from me really fast. Got to get some cat litter out here, speedy dry or something, pick it up. But that's basically where we're at right now. So we're gonna go ahead, get the new radiator in, get it bolted up, get all the lines back on, everything hooked up, and then we'll put the AC condenser, and my buddy still hasn't reached out to me about the trans cooler, so we're gonna find out if he still got that or not, and get this thing back together, man, and get it all done. So that's where we're at right now, and we'll be back. We'll get this radiator back in and all the other parts and get this thing fired up. So just so you can get a look here, so you guys know where everything goes, this clamp here you will definitely have to take off, this clamp here, but I just kind of released the radiator from this. There's like a little plastic pin that goes in here, like a little I don't know what they call that thing, but here's what it looks like, just so you guys know. These little horseshoe looking things, like they got hooks on them, when they go in here and lock, when they push them in here, when the radiators I go from the back side in, they'll lock like into here, these little areas right here. I'll show you there if you can see it. They kind of lock into there. These little horseshoe things lock into there, and that way it holds the radiator hose on. I'm going to put some grease on this before I put it back on. It was a little rough getting it off, but we'll put some grease on it and should be good. So that's basically what it looks like when it's tore apart. This is your intercooler down here for the turbo, and so we'll go ahead, get the radiator back in, and get this thing put back together. So we'll be back, guys. Stay tuned. All right, you guys, we're back. We got the new radiator in, AC condenser. I went ahead and reused the trans cooler. I pressure tested it. There's no issues, no leaks. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a little bent. If you look down, you can see it right there. It's got a little bend to it. But that was all that was wrong with it. It wasn't leaking or anything like that. So I went ahead and reused it, and there's no issues there. Everything is pretty much put together. I do have to charge the AC. We're going to do that in a minute. Get the AC charged up on it and start it up. Bleed the system. I got coolant in there, as you can see in the jug. So I'm going to get it running, bleed the system, make sure the temperature hand, stays in the middle or wherever it likes to run at. Make sure the heat's working good. We'll get the AC charged up. We got the core support somewhat bolted on, but it's still got to be kind of tightened up and adjusted. And once we get that done, I'll bring you guys back and we'll start assembling this car. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. All right, you guys, we got it all back together as far as the cooling system, AC, and all that. Got everything straight. Only piece we got to straighten is this little piece right here. I'll take it off and I'll straighten it all up, paint it black before I assemble the front end. Fans are working good. AC's kicking on and off like it's supposed to. Maybe you'll hear it here in a minute, but there it goes. Everything's working just like it's supposed to. AC's ice cold. There it kicks on again. Everything's working good so far. So got the wheel well liner in there. Next we'll start assembling this fender, line everything up, get all the adjustments right, and then we'll get the headlights in. Once we get the headlights in, we'll start to tighten down on the core support where we need it to set at. Make sure everything, get the hood setting down, adjusted right. And once we do that, adjust everything, we'll tighten the core support down. Put the plates across the top, the plastic and all that, cover everything up. I got some more little metal screw clips to put in here to bolt everything on here when it goes on. But we're almost there. I know it seems like it's still a lot, but we're almost there. So, oh yeah, we got all the lights off in the dash. We got no lights on in the dashboard. Everything's good to go. Turn this air down, it's really cold. This thing's working good. Got an ice cold air conditioning. But as you can see, all the lights are off in the dash. Just the seatbelt's always got to be plugged up when you go to drive the car. The seatbelt light will go off when you plug your seatbelt up. But everything's working. So we're good to go. We are good to go. So we just get the headliner back in it up here, as you can see. We'll have that headliner done on this video too as well, and get it in here. And they pretty much totaled this one. They got totaled on the windshield. But we'll have this thing done, guys. And the next time we come back on, we'll have the whole front end assembled. We'll get this thing all detailed up, get it all back together, and we'll be right back, guys. We're gonna get the front end on, and then we'll start working on the headliner. So stay tuned. All right, you guys, got the front end back together, got the bumper on. When I go to spot paint this door in right here on this edge right here, because I got to fix it anyway, I'll go ahead and kind of blend it to right here and then clear the whole door and fix that dent down there. But got it all back together, and I'll fix this dent in the hood too once I get it all done, get it running and driving, get it on the road. But it's pretty much done. So color matched up pretty good, I think, considering this blue is a hard color to match, you know, this blue pearl, like metallic or whatever. But it matched up pretty good, I think. But everything's lined up good, and we almost got it together. I got to put that silver piece on the bottom. I forgot that one at the other garage. I painted that silver and then pop it back on. It just pops back on there. We just got to pop the trim around there now, and then I'll pop the ground effect on, put 2 bolts in the wheel well, and it's pretty much done. That'll be nice, get this thing back on the road. The headliner is complete. So here's the headliner. I've never done these before, so it's a hard job. I mean, it's a rough go around, man. It's not easy. So some of the spots, I got some issues right here, but I'm gonna clean and steam all this right here. Got some dirt on the prints, a little bit of glue on there, but I can steam all that out, I think. But all in all, it looks pretty good considering how badly busted it was all over. So it's be ready to put back in the car and get this thing done. So maybe next time it'll look even better, you know, do another one or something. But this was a hard job, and I'm sure you're only going to get better with doing it over time. But it's a rough go around. So get all this steamed up really good, get it all cleaned up nice, and then get it in the car. First I'm gonna get it in the car bolted up, and then do a nice steam job on it and clean it really good. So I got to straighten up this little bracket right here. It got to bend it back down. I just don't want to bust the material, but it's like a little ring right here. It's kind of, if you can barely see, it's kind of crooked right there. I'm gonna straighten all that up and cut the excess off of it. It's where the light goes for the dome light. So got all the speakers back in, everything's ready to go. So we'll get everything done, and there's where the handles goes on. So I think it turned out pretty good considering how bad a shape it was. But we'll be right back, guys. We'll get this thing done. Stay tuned. All right, you guys, welcome back. We got the car all put back together. There's still some things need to be done, but let me show it to you and show you what it looks like. All right, guys, well, here it is. It's all back together. Front end's all done, fenders all painted. The only thing we didn't do, and basically it's something that I want to fix it, but saying don't worry about it. They just want the car, they just want to buy it and move on. So this hood needs to be fixed, but it's not hurting the function of it at all. So we're going to go back in another month, and I'm going to go over and fix the hood right here. This dent that's in the hood, I'm going to bump that out and paint it. If you guys are interested in seeing it, let me know. But as of right now, they just want to get on the road. Everything else is done. And if you remember the car from the beginning, it was pretty much hit pretty good in the front end. So everything fits good. Everything's lined up nice and neat. They're going to bring it back in about a month. I'm going to fix the hood for them. And over here, we're going to go ahead and spot paint this fender into the door right here, because it's got some scratches on this door where they opened it up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. But other than that, the car's all back together and it's all functioned. Drove it for a couple of days. It's got some mud all over it and stuff from the dirt road, but now we're going to do the buffing out, buff the whole car out process, and get it all wet sanded and make it look really good, clean everything up. But as far as the mechanicals of it, it runs awesome. There's no issues with it. All in all, car came out great. You know, car came out awesome. Wish I would have had more time to get on that hood and get it fixed, but it's just one of those things where, you know, you got to move on. They need to get going, and you don't have time to do all that. So everybody wins at the end of the day. So I mean, everything lines up really good on the car. You know, it's got a clean title. The car drives exceptionally well, no transmission issues, AC blows ice cold, everything works great. So we'll move along here to the interior. Remember we had it all gutted, tore apart, and there's the headliner. So what do you guys think about the headliner? Headliner's all back in. Remember, it was all busted and tore up. Right here is an issue with this headliner right here. I need to pull this panel back off today and clean when I clean the car, and I need to pull this headliner and just kind of roll it back into this piece right here, because I think I kind of tucked it in too tight. This material is really thick that they sold me for this headliner, but it looks really good. Other than that, I need to take a steam cleaner and clean it up really good. It's the first one that we've ever done with the airbags blowing out, and I mean, I'm sure over time it'll get better, you know what I mean, where they look really good. But I'm really proud of it. Car's all back together and rolling, so that's the important thing. And I think it turned out great, considering we had all this tore out of here. You know, everything was tore down, put it all back together, everything works good. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to show you guys the before and after. If you're interested in going over the whole cost of this build, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, and we'll go over what it costs to buy this from IAA Insurance Auction. It's got a clean title. It's got good miles on it. There's no mechanical issues at all wrong with it. So it's a great car. A car like this, you know, they usually sell them for, you know, $5,000-$6,000. You know what I mean? Especially with a clean title. So, you know, the car's dirty right now because it's been sitting, but these are things you can do at home. You know, you can build these cars at home. And, you know, we bought all the paint. We bought everything we needed for the car. We did everything ourselves. So at the end of the day, these are things that you guys can do at home, and you don't have to have some big shop to do them. You can do them all with your tools that you have at home and things like that. So that's why I'm doing these builds, so you guys can all see, you know, what you're all capable of at your own home building these cars, you know. So guys, I hope you liked the video on the Buick Encore. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It seems like a lot of work, but it really isn't. And I'm doing these videos on these car builds so that you guys can see how these things work. And there's other videos, other people doing them out there that have great videos and good footage and stuff. I'm just a small guy doing things, you know, out of, you know, basically little garages and stuff like that. I'm nobody big. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned, and we're gonna have more videos on different cars. There's different things we're gonna be doing. We just don't only do like just front wheel drive cars like that. I do a lot of cool stuff. I mean, you can see in the beginning I was working on the Chevelle. We got to get back on that project that we haven't finished yet. There's a lot of cool things we're going to be doing. So stick with me, guys, and I hope you liked the video, and I hope it was a learning experience on different things. I hope I showed you guys as much as I could, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Sink or Swim Garage. Thanks for watching.